Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for calling in for our Dreamers in Action team call. This is Lauren, and I am obviously going to talk to you guys tonight about creating consultants and how I launch business builders. I was asked on Saturday at Super Saturday. I trained with Jason Liu and Rebecca Caffiero in San Francisco to train on this topic. And I, went executive in my first, the very beginning of Isagenix. I've never fallen out. I do not have the same consultants that I had then. I mean, some I do, but not all. And as some have fallen off, I've created new ones. And I just think it's really, really important that we never stop doing the do, and as long as we are enrolling and we're recruiting and we keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to hit executive and you're never going to fall out of it. So I want to, first of all, just say to you guys, I had a crazy weekend and I ended my trip early from San Francisco, flew home overnight, and was hoping to get just some other people to do this call only because I want other people to shine and I want other people to get the experience of training, and I don't want you guys just to get sick of me or hear the Lauren show. But I am super poorly prepared, and I did our leadership call before this and I literally logged in and I was like, I don't have any testimonials tonight. I was just like, this is just how this week has been. So you guys, our product spotlight is the natural accelerator. I'll tell you, a lot of people think that this is only for cleanse days, and while it is great on cleanse days, and I think it can curb with your appetite, and will increase your thermogenic temperature, which increase your metabolism, help stabilize blood sugar. It's great on shake days. Take it all the time. A lot of times when people are hitting a plateau, like that's something that can help with cravings again, or boosting that metabolism just a little bit to kind of throw you over the edge. I want to give a shout out to my girl Megan for a product story. She is not on the call tonight. She's a traveling nurse, and I know she's working nights, but she texted me that she was under a weight that she hadn't seen since high school. She just started Isagenix, you guys, and she was so skeptical. She literally had unfriended me. She was avoiding me in our apartment building because she said every time I saw her, all I did is talk about Isagenix. And I somehow got her to the Start Vision Tour. And in the last couple weeks, I mean, she's totally transformed, and she has, totally 100%, just fallen in love with these products and everything that we have to offer. And now she's lighter than she's been since high school. And she literally saw that number on the scale and was like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that this has happened. So super excited for her. And then as a business story, I actually want to keep highlighting Megan, because this girl who was skeptic, ready to unfriend me, has enrolled like 10 people in a handful of weeks and created a consultant and is just kissing Crystal Manager. And I just share that with you, you guys, because Burning Desire shows up and timing shows up, and for months and for weeks. And she lives in the building where I do Ignite Your Life every single week. And, she didn't want to do this at all. And all of a sudden her timing was right and she's just glowing. So that being said, you guys, I'm going to do a share screen. I'm going to pull up my slides that I used for the weekend, and I'm just going to dive into the nitty gritty of our team call. Maybe. Can you guys see the screen? Can somebody, maybe Jen or Laura or somebody, like give me a thumbs up if you're looking at my, okay, awesome. So creating consultants, you guys, we're a product-driven company. People are coming to Isagenix for the products. People are coming to Isagenix because they want to have our results, and we have solutions for weight loss. We have solutions for healthy aging. We have solutions for energy. We have solutions for performance, right? But when you get excited about the business and people want to go manager, they want to go director, they want to go executive, you have to be able to create consultants. You have to be able to get people sharing. You have to get people, getting into action and not just using the products, but showing others how to use the products. And so the beginning of tonight's training call, I want to talk to you about what I've done since the beginning, what I've found to be really successful, and what I continue to do, and what I want to empower and teach you to do. So the very, very, very first thing that I do with every enrollment, you guys, is I start asking them about their accountability partners. when I was introduced to Isagenix and I was in a financial bind and Janie started telling me how I would get my products paid for, I slipped into well, I have to try this first. I can't recommend something that I've not done. I need to see if it works first. I need to read all about this, X, Y, Z. And she said, no, you don't. And I was like, yes, I do. And she was like, no. She's like, just grab accountability partners, grab people that want to try it with you. And I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, well, on your cleanse day, if all of your other friends are going out for happy hour and you've got your friends that are going to say, well, hey, no, we're cleansing today and we're going to cheer you on, or when it gets tough, we're going to motivate each other and support each other. She's like, you're going to have a better experience. You're going to have a more successful result if you do this as a team. And I kind of started to buy into that. But she said things like, well, you don't go to the movies alone, right? Like, let's just say the new, Fast and Furious movie's out. I'm going to go by myself and then say, hey, you guys should see this movie. I saw it. It is good. No, I'm going to be like, hey, Chris, hey, Laura, you guys want to go see the new Fast and the Furious? I might hate it. Chris might love it. I might love it. Laura might hate it. We don't know. But by asking someone, to look at it, you're not promising anything. You're not having to be an expert. You're not sharing a fake story of something you haven't experienced. It's literally like, hey, I've got a wedding coming up in a few weeks. I saw my friend's success on Facebook. I think that I am going to try this 30-day system, and I'm curious if you'd like to do it with me. I'm looking for accountability partners, and it's up to us to teach them how to do this. So just think about all the things that people do with others before they know if it's good or bad. So there's a lot of new restaurants popping up in Denver right now, all over the place. On every single block, there's new restaurants. And I've yet to go to eat by myself and then said, hey, oh, by the way, I went and checked out Mr. Tuna, or, oh, hey, I went and checked out Soul. It was really good, right? I say, hey, did you see the reviews about Mr. Tuna? We should go check it out. I'm making reservations for Friday night. Who wants to go? And it's up to us to encourage people to do this, to not feel salesy, and just ask. So I was actually talking with Jen Feichter earlier today, and if you guys have never seen her enrollment form, it's brilliant. She's just updated it, and she'll make it a file on our Dreamers in Action team page. But, on one side, which is the enrollment of, the shake flavors and credit card information and, personal information and all of that, the backside has more information when you're checking in with them on day 5, day 14, their goals, auto ship, XYZ. I just asked her, I said, do you think we can add to the form something about who are your accountability partners? That is just a trigger for all of us to ask. Or imagine if, there's not someone really building this business. There's not someone who is necessarily getting on the training calls. But if they said, hey, this girl at work is ready to do it, what information do I need? If we just private message them the enrollment form, we emailed the enrollment form, as they're going through chocolate, vanilla, powder, liquid, who are your accountability partners? They're going to naturally ask the question because it's on the form. So just make this a part of your process, that this is something that you do. So the second thing, you guys, I am trying to close my little view of the people so you guys can see this. So when I'm creating consultants, every time for the first 20 people that you enroll, that you help find their 2 people, the first 20 people that you enroll that you help create a consultant, you get $100 when they find their 2. So we know when you find your first 2 people that you get the $50 consultant bonus. But when you help someone find their 2 people, so if I enroll Jen, when Jen finds her 2 people, she's going to get $50. But I get $100 for rank advancing her. I get $100 for helping her go consultants. And I want you guys to think about this as a leadership bonus, right? You're earning that $100 for developing that person. You're earning $100 for showing them how to do this. Isagenix is not a tell you business. It's a show me. It's a show you business. So here's some examples of the things we have to do as leaders, as the things we have to do as business builders to get our product users moving, to get our product users sharing. So if I'm going to earn $100 when Jen finds her 2 people, yes, would it be awesome if she did it on her own? Like, would it be awesome if she got her box and was like, oh, you share, they share. And she watched the video and she went to isagenixbusiness.com and she went to click, start here, and she saw how to put a Facebook post up. Would it be awesome if she did that? Yes. Okay, but that's very realistic. What percentage of people are going to do that? So if a few weeks into the product, and Laura or Chris or Sarah or Marla, one of you guys is getting an amazing result. If I go, oh my gosh, you should have a launch party, you're totally going to get your products paid for. Probably not going to have a launch party. They don't know what that is. They don't really know what to do. That sounds awkward. That sounds weird. They're not going to go through all of that effort for $100 and $200. But if I say, oh my gosh, Marla, you look amazing since you've had your child. I know your friends every single day have got to be asking what you're doing. How fun would it be if we got some of your girlfriends together? We did this healthy happy hour. I bring the wine, you bring the snacks, and let's share your story. Let's tell some of your girlfriends what you've been doing so that they can get into their pre-mom pants. Do you think that'd be fun? Do you think any of your friends would want to come over? And she's going, yeah, my friends are coming over for wine and snacks. Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's no pressure of what she has to know. There's no pressure of a presentation she has to do. We're going to share stories and we're going to do it together, right? Same thing if I say, to Chris, or if I say to Laura, or I say to Holly, hey, you look amazing. Why don't you post on Facebook? They're like, what am I going to post on Facebook? I hear all this compliance stuff all the time. That's kind of freaking me out. I don't really know what I'm supposed to put on Facebook. But if I were to say, Holly, holy cow, in the last couple weeks, you've released significant weight. I know you're sleeping like a baby. I know your sugar cravings are down. If I helped you draft a post, if I helped you draft a way to kind of capture your story, would you be willing to put this up? I really think we can inspire some other people. You found me from a Facebook post. How amazing would it be if we can use your story to now get other people excited? If we can use your story to help other people look and feel as good as you. If I help you write it, do you think that maybe we could put this up together? Or would it be cool if I shared your story and tagged you in it? I want you guys to see that you earn that $100 because you have skin in the game. You can't just tell people what to do. You've got to show it. And sometimes we get into this, right? And you're getting on training calls or you're working closely with someone and you forget what you've learned. You forget that someone has shown you how to overcome an objection. Maybe you've been to an event and you learn how to connect. Maybe you've been on a training call and you learn how to share your 30-second story. But if you have someone brand new that didn't really want to build the business, right? They said to you, I don't want to build the business. Well, guess what they're not going to do? They're not going to spend time learning how to be a professional network marketer, which means we have to put in the time to teach them. So one of the things I do when I'm checking in with them is saying, hey, I know you don't want to build this business, but people are going to notice what you're doing. It is inevitable that you are not going to have visible results. So I want to at least prepare you of what to say when they start asking questions. Would it be okay if we spent 5 or 10 minutes on the phone so you feel equipped on what to say when someone starts asking what you're doing? I want to set you up on how to introduce me, how to refer me, how to put me into a group message with you, how to add them to our testimonials page, how to prevent them purchasing from Amazon. Can I take 5 or 10 minutes of your time so that when it comes up, you know what to do, right? These are the things that we really have to do. And so all the time when people say, I don't have business builders, I don't have anybody that wants to build the business. You guys, a lot of us don't have business builders. But you can create consultants. You can get people to share with 2 people that want to feel good, that eat food, that want to have a transformation, that want to be healthy. And that doesn't make them a business builder. It makes you a business builder by teaching them how to learn this skill set or how to do these foundational things. And the last thing that I really do all the time to create consultants is I ask, who do they know? And I list specific products so that they start thinking about it. So let's say that I have gotten Melanie started, right? And I say something to her you know what? I've seen great results when spouses do this together. Do you think this is something your husband wants to do? She's like, oh yeah, absolutely. Drew's always been into health and fitness. He would totally do this together. So now I know she's one away from becoming a consultant, maybe one away from getting double PIVs and getting the consultant bonus. And I say, you know what, I'd love for you to get your products paid for immediately, at least one of these systems. Like, who else do you know that would be interested in a 30-day nutritional reset program? You know, and if she's like, oh, I don't know, we want to try it first, like, we don't really know people that want to do this, I start saying things, okay, well, who do you know that maybe eats protein bars and drinks coffee? You know, like, do you think your mom like would love some, you know, Isagenix coffee and some boxes of Isolites? Like, let's just get her in the systems that you get your products paid for. Let's get them to consultant, right? I say, well, who do you know that maybe gives their kids artificial electrolyte drinks? Or like, who do you know that, you know, is living off protein bars or muscle milk? Like, even if they don't want to do the 30-day system, Isagenix has an amazing online catalog with so many different solutions. You know, do any of your friends and family use great skincare? Like, maybe like we can introduce them to our skincare. There has to be you listing examples of people and specific products Isagenix has. So especially on my day 5, my day 14, you know, calls, and people are really starting to like this. If they're one away, I'm always just going, okay, who do you know at work that has salty cravings, that you walk by their desk and without fail, there's Cheetos and Doritos on the desk? What if you were to drop off a bag of our Whey Thins to them? Just introduce them. Like, you know what? I was eating Cheetos last week, and now I'm obsessed with our white cheddar Whey Thins. I had to show these to you, right? Who do you know that has a Think Thin bar or a muscle milk bar or something that you could give them an isolene bar and just think, you know, I see your protein bar every single day. I've been using this lately and I love it. Like, I feel so much better. And, you know, I just see you eat that and I wanted to share with you what I've been doing. Give them ideas of who is in their life and exactly how to share. So before I move into the next step of how I launch Business Builders, I want to give you guys the opportunity to just ask me questions right now. I don't want to go too far out there before I come back and lose what's kind of fresh in your head. So if you guys want, this is a time to unmute and just ask me a couple questions specific to creating consultants. And all you have to do is hover over the microphone and unmute, and then you guys can hop out.
So Lauren, thank you so much. So that's, I guess my direct question would be, so once you have this person who's sharing with the person in the office a bar, we were talking about them. So what would be the next step for them to take with that person?
So obviously, like, did you like it? How'd you feel? And then I think that we're coaching them on how to get into one of those group threads, text message or Facebook message, right? So let's say I was working really closely with you, Laura, and I was like, who do you know? Like, who do you know that's using health products? Who do you know that's already taking supplements? And you said, well, you know, there's this girl, Karen, that I work with, and every day she comes in with a Cliff Bar. And I know it has too many carbs and not enough protein, you know, and I see her trying to make healthy choices. Like, what could I do? And I said, why don't you give her an isolene bar? You know, why don't you just say, hey, I see you eat your Cliff Bar every morning. And I was introduced to something and I thought about you. I'd love to share one with you. I'd love to give you one if it's something you want to try, right? So you give a bar to Karen. And then when you're like, what'd you think? Did you like it? And she's going to say, yeah, oh my gosh. Like, you know, like, how do I find more of this or whatever? I would have said, hey, when she starts asking questions, just play the dumb card. I don't really know. I'm brand new, but I can introduce you to the girl that got me started, blah, 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 blah. And you would go right into that message. And then you would say, you know, Lauren, I want you to meet Karen. We work together. I see her eat a protein bar every single day. I thought she might like Isagenix. Come to find out she does. And now I don't really know what to do, you know, and just say, Karen, Lauren's been doing Isagenix for a long time. She loves the bar. What can we do to help her get set up with some bars? What can we do to help her reach her health goals or something like that, you know? And so I think that next step is really setting up that three-way message almost immediately, that there's third-party validation and third-party support.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, you guys? I can tell you that it's very rare people become consultants on accident, right? It's very rare that people are like, oh, so I just signed up my husband and my sister, right? It's great when that happens. It's like, hallelujah, right? Like that one was easy. You have to create consultants. Like Isagenix gives you that money because of the time it takes. It's a show me business, showing them what to put on Facebook, showing them how to overcome the objection, showing them how to have a launch party, doing the launch party with them, showing them how to set up the three-way message, showing them how to find things on Isa Product or isagenixhealth.net. But if you are finding yourself, oh, I told them to do this, I told them to do it, it's like they're not going to move. They're not going to move. You have to remember that people are busy. This is part-time, extra work for them to get extra supplemental income. Most are not motivated by the money right away. Most just wanted a product experience that you are going to have to lock arms with them and really give them the tracks to run on and walk them through all those processes to create consultants on purpose. In our Dreamers in Action team, you guys, there's 2 files and it literally says consultants on purpose. There's like the path and then the explanation kind of before it. But I would encourage you guys to kind of print that off and listen to Tracy O'Malley's Day 14-Day Talk, if you've never listened to that. But she's talking about from the first call, Day 5, Day 14, Day 21, what are the specific conversations that you're having that are encouraging them to really share, that are encouraging them to really feeling equipped to want to become a consultant. So Lori said my speaker isn't working either. How do you handle your current cleansers who love the products? So I think that when it's like you have the current cleansers that love it but don't want to share, that's when I think you are asking things like, do you mind if I share your story and tag you? Like I mean, 9 out of 10 times they found you from Facebook, and saying, I would love to use your story to inspire more people. I think there's a lot more people out there suffering in silence, just like you found me. Can we share your story to help more people? And I say, what if I hadn't have called you? What if I hadn't called you and said, hey, I was introduced to this amazing program? You wouldn't be having these results. You wouldn't be feeling as good as you were. Like, just think for a second, like, whose life you can impact, and I know you don't want to build a business and I don't want you to sell anything, but I also think when you find out something magical, we have an obligation to pay it forward. Like, just put them in a place of empowerment, put them in a place that they have the ability to impact someone's life. They have the ability to change someone's life. And if you can get someone to come from a place of service instead of a place of sales, they will be unstoppable. They will really, really, really want to gift that forward. I'm going to go back to the share screen and move forward here for just a second. So if I move into launching new business builders, because as you guys get people to share and as you get someone who goes consultant, the number one thing then that people start to say is, oh my gosh, now they're getting their products paid for. What do I do? It's like instant panic, right? Like I just had a girl that was like, oh my gosh, I have these 3 people. Now I'm building this business. What do I do? And it's like, well, breathe, like just chill. And the very, very, very first thing that I tell every single person is go into your back office, under team, business blueprints, and then business blueprint by category, because this shows you who to focus on. You cannot work with everybody at once, but your business blueprints tell you who's enrolling, who's close to rank advancing. So in your limited time, it shows you who to focus on, right? So it will show you, Lori's enrolled 1 this week. She's 1 away from double PIBs, right? Jen and Adam have created 5 consultants. They're 1 away from director. Chris Marshall has, 9 consultants. He's 1 away from executive. Like, your blueprints will tell you who's close to vitamins, who's close to 5-cycle bonus. I want people to get familiar with the roadmap on how to coach their business. The second, I tell every single person, I want you to go to isagenixbusiness.com. I want you to click start here, and I want you to watch steps 1 through 6. And I say this is going to take you less than an hour. You do not have to know how to do every single thing at once, but I want you to know where the information is. I want you to understand why we have launch parties. I want you to understand why it's important to make your list. I want you to understand, the importance of your why and your vision with this. I say you don't have to eat this whole elephant at once. Don't feel like you have to do all 6 steps, but just know where they are. Know that these 6 steps can launch you to make $100 a week, $1,000 a week, $10,000 a week. that what you put in is what you're going to get out, but this is the foundational skill set for all of us. And I say that network marketing has an unlimited income with an equal playing field, but there's also no specific degree required to do it. And so just like you went to school to be a teacher, you went to school to be a dental hygienist, or you went to school to be a personal trainer, you went to school to be a nurse practitioner, whatever it is, you've got to go to school to become a network marketing professional. And this is where it starts. Isagenix has these beautiful tools out there. You've got to find them. You've got to use them. You've got to learn the skill set if you want to build this business. Then, this is what I tell everybody to do, you guys. This is not right. This is not wrong. This is not what Isagenix says to do. This is what I've done. This is how I've created 6 executives. This is how I've created, over 80 consultants probably in my Isagenix career, how I've created so many managers and directors. This is my onboarding process. So these 6 steps, when someone shows up and says, I want to build the Isagenix business, I want to make $1,000 a month, I want to be the next Isagenix millionaire, I want to pay my credit card off, I want to take my family to Disneyland, right? I say make a list. Use the memory jogger, make a list. If you don't have a list, you don't have a business. People are not going to knock on your door and say, sell me Isagenix. You've got to have a list of people that you're contacting. Number 2, print off the map to Crystal Executive. At the top, write your why and the date that you're going to hit it. No more than 180 days from the time of enrollment, ideally sooner. And then, you guys, here's my favorite line. When I have someone print off the map to Crystal Executive, I say, ditch the first 4 pages, the consultant manager director page. It doesn't matter. Just get straight to executive because that's the finish line. I want you to print it off 3 levels deep because not everybody you enroll is going to share, and we need to have wiggle room here. But imagine if I just gave you the best news, if you just received the most incredible news, who would be the first 10 people you shared this with? And I said, I want you to write those in those first 10 spots and get to work. Because in my opinion, getting the gifts of Isagenix is the best news you're ever going to receive. Start telling people. And I share that with you because that's how it was shared with me. I went executive fast because I didn't make it weird. Because I didn't try and convince people to do a 30-day system that they didn't want to do. Because I didn't try and convince people that they were going to be a millionaire and they didn't want to make. I said, this company is the real deal. It's a legacy company. It's privately held. They have the best core values, the best mission, the best vision, the best family integrity I've ever seen. And I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm putting together my board of directors, and I want you at the top of this. You're amazing. You're hardworking. You're loving. You're fun. I want to do this with you. If I won the lotto, I would share it with you. I'm building this enterprise, and I want you in my organization. I want to do it together. That's how I built this business, you guys. That was how I first got my people going. So instead of going, I'm never going to hit executive, I've only enrolled 3 people, and none of them are sharing. It's a mindset shift. It's you saying, wow, someone just gave me Powerball. I just won the Powerball. Who else deserves to win a Powerball ticket? And get to work. Number 3, it is a non-negotiable that you are going to do 3 new contacts and 3 follow-ups every single day. If you want to build this business, I always say exercise is a part of my lifestyle. If I'm hungover, if I'm underslept, if I'm on the road, I'll work out. And anybody who knows me, anybody who's traveled with me, anybody who's friends with me on Facebook, it's who I am. If I go to Cancun to an all-inclusive resort to drink as many vodka sodas as I can in a day, I'm being honest, I'm still going to work out the next day. And I work out in the morning because I don't want to feel guilty about my vodka sodas I'm going to drink all day, right? When I travel, I still do my 3x3. If I'm doing it at the airport, I lift on purpose to and from the airport because that's an hour each way where I can get to work, that I can follow up with people. I enrolled someone today from someone I reached out to while I was sitting in the car driving home from San Francisco the other day. Like the 3x3, I remember Betsy Frame just saying to me once, Isagenix can award you the most fulfilling career. It can grant you more freedom than you can imagine, but you've got to touch your business every single day. You've got to check in with your cleansers. You've got to check in with some of your business builders. You have to be bringing new blood into the organization. So you guys, there's sometimes I'll look at my own like checklist. I'm like, yeah, I followed up with 8 people today. Haven't contacted anybody new. And at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, I'll send those voice memos. I'll send a text message because you're always contacting new people. Number 4, it is our obligation to teach people social media. Most people don't know. People do not learn Facebook for marketing and sales, and their people are not coming to Facebook to buy something. It is up to us to teach our business builders the 10-4-1 formula. It is up to us to teach people how to be compliant, how to brand ourselves, when are peak times to post. If you're not willing to spend time teaching people how to do that, you don't want to build this business. So number 1, we've got to learn it. And number 2, we've got to teach other people how to do it. Number 5, I believe you need to get to a corporate event in the first 90 days. One of our core 4, if it's ICU, NYKO, Celebration, UIA, people got to go. Just like any job, there's training, there's onboarding, there's usually like a 3-month or 90-day kind of period until you're up and on your own. I cannot teach people in 2 years what they can learn in 3 days at an ICU. And the last one, you guys, and this is important, and I can confidently say not enough people do this, is get to know people's belief scale. When you go through the new associate interview and you're asking them, how much money would make a difference in your family's life right now? What is the number you need to make this worth your time? What is your why, right? Like, why do you want to do this? And I say, at some point, you're going to get stuck. You're either going to get stuck trying to launch this off the ground, or you're going to hit a point that you get stuck when it's going to get uncomfortable. And in order for me to help you through those, I need to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you in the belief in network marketing as a profession? Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 with the comp plan? Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 with the products? Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 with the company? On a scale of 1 to 10 with yourself? Because if someone wants to be the next Isagenix Millionaire and they're a 2 out of 10 in network marketing, it's going to take a long time to become an Isagenix Millionaire because they don't have belief in what they're doing. When I first got started, you guys, I'll tell you, I remember writing out my numbers. Janie asked me. I was a 10 out of 10 on myself. Not because I'm like overly confident, but I was already used to coaching people, right? That wasn't going to be hard for me. I was a 10 out of 10 on the comp plan. I made money so fast, I didn't even know where it was coming from. I was like, well, something's paying me, right? I was a 8 or 9 on the products. Like, I hadn't had a great transformation yet because I was so new, but I could read the ingredients. I saw the studies that I felt good about what I was doing. I was a 1 out of 10 on the company and a negative 20 out of 10 on the profession. I knew nothing about Isagenix, nothing. Why was I going to put all my eggs into a basket for a company I knew nothing about? Right? I had to go to work to learn about Isagenix, to learn about Jim and Kathy, to learn about John Anderson, right? I had to go to work to learn the statistics, all the accolades, why I believed this company had my best interest at heart. And I had to go to work to learn about network marketing. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Business of the 21st Century. I read these books to understand why this was a real business and that certain companies could do it the right way with the right products. But I wasn't always there. And it's up to us when you're launching a new business builder to understand what's going to hold them back. And the last 2 things I have them do is find their why. And you better know it. And not the like, oh yeah, it'd be really cool if I could buy new shoes next month. Know the why that's gonna make them cry. Know the why that the pain of staying stuck is greater than the fear of not launching forward, right? The pain of staying stuck has got to be greater that overcomes any fear that gets you out of your comfort zone. The journey of the why is always going to change. So for those of you that know my story, when Janie said, what do you need most right now? And I said, a bed. My why was to not sleep on the floor as a 30-year-old grown adult. Then I wanted a couch. Then I wanted a dining room table. And after my house was furnished, well, guess what? I needed a new why. Then there were things that evolved, like I wanted to pay off my student loans, or I wanted to have a savings account, and I wanted to be able to do contests for the team, and I wanted to retire my parents, or it's changing. And why I do what I do today is much different than what got me going in 2013, but you have to know what that is. Be willing to get that from your people. Why is this important to you? Why are you not going to watch HGTV and you're going to get on team training calls on Tuesday night? You know, why are you going to get up earlier and listen to podcasts while you get ready? Why are you going to read at night instead of watch TV? Why are you going to get to an event? Why are you maybe going to miss a kid's, birthday party, or you're going to miss a kid's swim event to get to a super Saturday? Why are you going to spend your lunch break connecting with people on Facebook instead of out to lunch with your coworkers? Why? Why is Isagenix going to be able to eliminate pain in your life, physically or financially? Because that's what you've got to use to hold that mirror up to their face when the going gets tough. It will get tough for all of us, you guys. People get excited, they see the vision, and then they quit before they get started because they don't have a strong enough why or a strong enough belief system. And be willing to hold that mirror up to their face. Hey, remember you told me this is why we were going to do it? Okay, it might not be happening as fast as we wanted it to, but if you don't do this, what are your other options? If you don't do this, what are the other alternatives? I'm in it with you. We're going to do it together regardless of how long it takes. If you don't know why someone's holding them back, that they're stuck with a belief in themselves, you don't know what podcast to send them. You don't know what event to get them to. And the last thing is listen to GoPro. It's the best 2-hour audible that teaches you about this profession. Gives you realistic expectations. It was the very first time that I heard nobody was going to take the glory from my success. Nobody could take that away from me. However, no one else was to blame for my failures, and no one was to blame for the work I didn't do. And it was listening to this, and I was learning that I had to learn a skill set. I had to learn how to promote events. I had to learn how to give a presentation. I had to learn how to connect. I had to learn how to overcome objections. I had to learn how to lead a team, right? Like I was learning that, this is a profession. And I had a master's in nutrition. I had a master's in criminal justice. I didn't have a master's in network marketing. I had zero business or sales training, right? But I heard things like, you cannot look at your upline as their fault for the work you're not going to do, but they also can't take the credit for the celebration and success you're going to have. I learned things in that to this day have affected my business and how I've led other people. So you guys, outside of Isagenix business, steps 1 through 6, and outside of, getting people to see where their blueprints are, which I believe is the map to leading your team, this is what I tell people to do. This is my onboarding system, and I match energy for action. I do not match energy for energy. So when people tell me, oh my gosh, I really want to do this, and I want to get out of debt, and I want to be home with my kids, and they don't make a list, and they don't print off their map to Crystal Executive. They're not doing their 3x3s, right? They're not posting on social media. They're not going to events. They don't know their why. They haven't listened to GoPro. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you ask me what percentage of their time do they get out of mine, you probably know the answer. I'm not giving time to those that are necessarily enrolling or not enrolling. I'm giving the time to those that are doing the things that I'm asking to do, that are showing burning desire and are showing that they're coachable. If you do your 3x3 every day, you're getting to events, you're getting on training calls, you're making your list, you have your Maps Crystal Executive up, you've listened to GoPro, I will do every 3-way call with you as I can till we hit executive. I'll do every launch party, virtual or in person, as it takes. But you've got to remember, when you're working with your business builders, don't match your energy with their words. Match your energy with their action. As a personal trainer, I used to tell people, I am with you 1 hour a week, maybe 2. What you do the other 6.5, 7 days out of the week, and all those other hours, the other workouts you do that are not with me, everything you put into your mouth, I cannot control, right? you've got to work with those that work with you. Those that were working out every single day on their own, they were following their meal plan. You know, guess what? It got results. The ones that showed up and did their 1 hour workout with me and that was it, and ate pizza and ice cream and bonbons all week long and didn't do their other workouts, they didn't get results. And Isagenix is the same thing. They're like, I got on that one call. That one call. Really, good for you. You know, I called that one person. It takes a lot more than that. In this, I have found to be very, very successful. On your journey to Crystal Executive, you guys, you learn how to overcome objections. You learn how to connect. You learn how to set up a 3-way call. You will learn everything on your way to executive. It's just got to be that is the journey. That is where we're headed. Get out of my way. Nothing is stopping me until I get there, you know, and all of it starts to fall into place. So I stopped the screen share. What's the chat question? Oh, Lori, you're so cute. But you got on late after I told, Lori says best call ever. She's so cute. And I was saying, she got on late after I said I screwed up. I didn't even have my own testimonials for my own call. Just total brain fart. But you guys, I just think that these are really, really basic stuff, but it's really important for not only yourself, like sometimes just reflect on what am I doing as a leader? What am I doing to really support my team? Do I have a system? And then making sure you're showing it to other people. I went to GoPro's 6 and 7 figure summit my first year in Isagenix. And I remember Eric Worre saying, you know, it's one thing if the person you enroll knows what to do. It's really cool if they're personally enrolled, you know, 2 or 3 levels down, knows what to do. But do the people 10, 15, 20 levels down in your business know how to get started, know how to get someone started? And I remember sitting there, and I will never forget this, and I looked at Jessica Rigner, and I said, do you have 20 people down in your business? Like, we didn't. I was like, is that really going to happen? And then it started happening, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, no one's doing the same thing. None of us know how to launch a builder, and we're all doing something different. And this is my system, and I do my best to try and show people and duplicate it, you know. And yes, we want to be independent, and yes, everybody can kind of do their own thing with this. But I think if we find systems, if we're all on the same page and we're all holding each other accountable to the same thing and saying, hey, in the first 3 months, get to an event, you know, do your 3x3s, make a list, listen to GoPro, know your why, what's your belief scale, whatever that is. I think together as a team, we can duplicate faster and we can help that many more people get started the right way. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. I'm more than happy to stay on the phone for a few minutes and answer any questions. So if you guys want to unmute and ask me any questions or have clarifications on creating consultants or how I launch a new business builder, I'm in no hurry and would love to be available to help you.
How do you keep people from when you do a 3-way with them or you set up a 3-way and their prospect cancels on them repeatedly? How do you keep your potential business builder motivated and not discouraged to just stop trying?
Be a little bit more specific because I'm not 100% sure I understand your question.
So I had a 3-way call set up with one of my personally enrolled, with someone that was interested that she'd been talking to. And the person just totally bailed on the call, didn't let her know that she wasn't going to be able to do it or anything. And I can just feel that she's feeling discouraged about trying to like continue to share with people what she's doing.
Okay. Number one, relate to her, because that happens to all of us more often than not. And here's the thing, when we start to fall in love with Isagenix, it very quickly becomes one of our top 5 priorities in our life. So if I think, you know, here's my faith, here's my family, here's my friends, Isagenix is probably there. I might go faith, family, friends, fitness, Isagenix. I might go faith, family, Isagenix, friends, fitness. It kind of depends. Like, that's my hierarchy of what's important in my life. But for everybody else, especially those that don't know anything about Isagenix, it's not a priority. So if you've never read the book 4 Agreements, I highly recommend it, and I would recommend it for other people. But one of the 4 agreements is to never take anything personally. Because here's what happens, right? So I've enrolled, I think that's you, Colleen, that spoke up, right? I've enrolled you. you're super excited, right? And you're talking about people and you reach out to Michelle and you're like, hey, I'm really excited about what I'm doing. I want to share with you. And Michelle stands us up. And now you're like, darn, I was like so excited, right? Your feelings are hurt. Number one, don't take it personally because she did not reject you, right? What may have happened is her kid was sick, right? She left work. All she's trying to do is go home and be mama bear. The last thing on her mind is Isagenix. She doesn't even think like, oh, I'm probably not going to make the call. And so we have to teach our people to follow up, you know, in a non-invasive way, but just be like, hey, Michelle, you know, like we missed you last night. It's so unlike you to not make an appointment. I just want to make sure everything's okay. I'd still really love to chat with you when you have a moment. Michelle's going to be like, I'm so glad you reached back out. I totally spaced it. You know, little Johnny was sick last night and, you know, I'm sorry. I'd love to chat with you. But here's what's going to happen. She might miss another call. She might, right? So you schedule the next day and now that person's really deflated, right? And you reach out again, you're like, I hope everything's okay, Michelle. I know you're excited about free enrollment this week and we really wanted to connect with you. She's like, dude, my jerk boss made me work overtime. I could not get out of that meeting. I'm so sorry. I really do want to talk to you, right? Like life happens. And Isagenix is just not people's priorities yet. And we can't take that personally. So for your girl that's getting deflated, relate to her. Tell her how many times maybe you avoided calls from Isagenix. You know, tell her how many times it happens to other people and encourage her to keep reaching out, keep following up. But here's the other thing, you guys. You do not want one person on your list that you reach out to 10 times. Have a lot of people on your list because the more that you take it away from them, the more they show up. So sometimes if I really feel like I'm getting the runaround and I feel like people are not making it a priority, after I've been compassionate, after I've done the like, this is unlike you, I say, you know what, I really want to talk to you, but my time is incredibly valuable. And every time I schedule an appointment with you, you're reserving space that I could be helping somebody else. So please do not schedule an appointment with me unless you're serious because I take this very serious and I would rather be available for somebody else. And when you command your time and you get people to respect who you are, number one, they're not going to blow you off again. Or number two, they're like, oh, she's not needing my enrollment. This lady's going to do what she's going to do regardless. And people show up. And I adapted that posture, you guys, when I had my private practice because I had to exchange time for money. I had a limited amount of hours. I had a 6-month waiting list for patients, right, before I quit my job, right? And I would get so annoyed if someone stood me up because I was thinking that was an hour I could have seen somebody else. It wasn't even that I didn't make money that hour. I was thinking there's somebody desperately that wants to be in my office right now that I can't see. And I would tell them that, like, you've got to let me know. And I started charging people. If they cancel within less than 24 hours, unless it was an emergency, I built them because I took that posture that they're taking it away from somebody else. So I know that with Isagenix, we always can't build them. You know, we're all volunteering our time. But after you've been kind and after you've been understanding, respect your time. That is our most valuable commodity. And it's okay for you to say, hey, you know, we've scheduled a couple times, but I can't schedule anymore if you're not serious because it's taking me away from my family. It's taking me away from helping other people. And I'm really only committed to those that are committed as well. And that's okay. It's totally okay to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, you guys? Is this helping? Is anything landing tonight? Is there things that can, okay, good. I told Rachel we were, you know, in San Francisco and I was like, I just felt bad that I'm always the one doing the calls. Like, I don't want it to be the Lauren show. And she's like, we're still learning. So I was like, okay, I'll keep talking. I don't know if my voice will make it past 2017, but just kidding. Any other questions? All right, guys, I will get the recording up. Feel free to pass it on, share it. Thank you so much for your time. I know summer nights, it's hard. We want to be on our patios drinking wine and vegging out, and I just appreciate all of you guys for committing to being on here. So have a good night. We'll see you next week, and I will be at Top Achievers all weekend. So if I'm a little MIA, just know I'm going to be the biggest sponge ever to come back and just share so many good things with all of you. Good night. Love you.